Hey guys, it's Amy. Thanks for watching. Today's video is going to be about my microblading experience, as the title might have told you already. I got them microbladed 10 months ago, and I am not due until December to get them retouched. So if you want to hear all about my experience, then just keep on watching. All right, so basically I am a victim of the 90s. That's when I went to high school, college, a little bit into the 2000s I was in college, but not really. I finished college in 2001. So anyway, I definitely over plucked my eyebrows. I wanted to be like Drew Barrymore so bad, it wasn't even funny. So yeah, I will insert before and after pictures, and actually I will just go ahead and let you know now that I have no product on my brows. I don't have tinted brow gel, pencil, pomade, powder, anything going on, and this is what my brows look like without anything on them. And this is 10 months after I got them done. They are extremely natural. I did not want to go with the trends or anything like that because I've been through the trends and I know that they're not good. So I didn't want to get, big, full, bushy brows and then not be able to tweeze them later when things change again. So anyway, I really didn't do a ton of research. I have to admit that. I mean, I did a ton of research on microblading, but not on the place where I was going to get it done. I thought I was going to end up going down to Indianapolis, but it turns out that the girl who was going to do my wedding hair, I was talking to her, and the only reason she's not doing my wedding hair now is because I've switched up what I'm doing with my wedding. Not because I don't like her. She cuts my hair. I love her. But she happened to tell me that her salon did microblading, and I didn't know that. Apparently they do like Botox and lip fillers. They have a doctor come in for things like those. But they had two girls who do microblading. So I honestly just picked the girl because her name was Amy. My name's Amy. So I'm like, hey, why not? I mean, there wasn't a difference in the two after my phone conversation. It was a lengthy phone conversation about the procedure and everything. And the only difference was the way that they accepted their payments. And either one was fine with me. I honestly just picked Amy because she was named Amy. As far as price goes, it was $400 plus tip. And I went twice. I went once to get it done and then once for the retouch. So I tipped twice. The first time it was $250. Well, it was $250 down just to make the appointment actually. And then when I went in, I paid another $150. So it ended up being $400 plus tips. So they have a website, but they didn't have any real information on the microblading. They didn't even say that they offered it. So I wasn't able to look on their website specifically to see, but I did speak to the woman on the phone for a long time, and then I spoke with Amy, and then before we even did anything, the day of my appointment, I spoke with her in length about what she was going to do, how she was going to do it. If I wanted to walk out the door and take, my deposit back, I could have done that. So anyway, microblading basically is where they take a blade, and the blade consists of needles. And what happens is it only pierces the epidermis, which is the top layer of the skin. So the difference, well, there's two main differences between microblading and a tattoo. And microblading is when they scrape the epidermis and apply a pigment, and it's semi-permanent. It's not a dye, it's a pigment. And with a tattoo, they go all the way down, they go through the epidermis down to the dermis, and they use a permanent dye. So that's why microblading fades, and that's why it takes differently to different people. I mean, tattoos are different for different people too. I mean, I have some tattoos that my newest tattoos actually look worse than my older ones. I have 7, and some that I have had since I was, well, my first one that I got when I was 18 had 20 years. It looks better than one that I just got, 5 years ago. And that's due to lupus, and I'll get into that when I talk about the healing process. But the main reason I did the microblading was because I was sick of doing my brows. I have been so obsessed with my brows since I was about 15 years old. And I filled them in way before it was a thing to fill them in, just because I was so unhappy with how they looked, because I did over tweeze them. I have it was right here. There's like a bald patch, and you'll be able to see that when I show the picture, which I'll just go ahead and show the pictures now. This first one is of my left eyebrow, and my eyebrows look a little bit different just because of the fact that I had trimmed them back then and I don't trim them anymore. So they look a little thicker now, even versus what they looked like when I first got them microbladed, just because there is more hair. The hair's longer. The other eyebrow wasn't quite as bad, but they both ended up looking great in the end. So I am very pleased with them. So anyway, she did the strokes. She didn't do them really nice and even and everything. She did them so that they were like hair. If you look at the pictures up close, you can really see that, she went one way and then another way, and then, just to really make it look like what natural eyebrow hairs would do. The pigment that she used, she custom mixed that for me. Then she also used this tool that measures out your eyebrows, and so she can get the tails completely even and the inner corners and the arch. The one thing I will say is I had a very good shape to my brows in the first place. I may have not had many hairs, but I had a good shape, so she did have that to work with. So she measured out my eyebrows and kind of drew them on. I went in with my eyebrows on those so that she could see how I filled them in. And I wanted her to know what I expected, what results I expected. So when she drew them on, they looked exactly like how I filled them in. It was incredible. And I deliberately, like I said, went more natural. And then I also knew I had a touch-up appointment, so if it wasn't enough, I could do more. She put the numbing agent on, and that sat on for 20 minutes. After that, I couldn't feel anything. People say that they feel pain with microblading, but I did feel some scratches. I think more toward the tail, and then a little bit right in the inner corner, but all throughout basically the whole brow, I didn't feel anything. I didn't even really feel pressure much. So then she put the pigment on and just slathered that on basically, and that sat for, I would say, about 15 to 20 minutes. And each time when she put the numbing cream on and when she put the pigment on, she put saran wrap, cling wrap over to really, really keep it in, and then the heat helps bring it into your body as well. Okay, so this is a picture that is how my brows used to look with powder in them. In my How I Did Makeup Before YouTube video, which I will link in the corner, I said that I used an angled brush, which I don't even have one around, but it was really fat, and it really was. It was like that fat. And all I did was dip it into the powder, and then I could take it like from this point on all the way to the tail, and I just went like that in like one swoop, like just one motion. I didn't have to try and like, you know, fill in a bunch of times or anything like that. My brows were so ridiculously thin that is, I mean, look at the tail of them. The front of them, well, especially this side. I wish that side was a little bit more the one you could see, but yeah, that picture is just, it's a perfect picture of what I looked like with makeup on. And then this picture here, here's my eyebrow up really close. It was a Snapchat picture, so it's kind of hard to see. But then where the purple line is, that is where my bald spot is. And you can really tell that it's nice and bald. I mean, look at all that hair toward the center, and then there's just absolutely nothing where that purple is. So that is why I wanted to get the microblading done. As far as aftercare goes, she gave me a little card that basically listed everything that was going to happen afterward. After about 2 days, your eyebrows are supposed to get darker, and a lot of people freak out because, especially if you're blonde, a lot of people freak out about it. But fortunately for me, I already have such dark hair. I mean, speaking of hair, like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm doing filming looking like this, but and with no makeup on except for mascara and lipstick. But with my hair being so dark, it didn't really look that much darker to me. It actually looked really good to have it that dark, especially since I was so used to just having, you know, dark brown or brown, or I mean, I use the Ebony Brow Wiz, so my brows are pretty dark. But then you're supposed to start flaking off a little bit, and I barely had that, which I was so surprised by. And this is what I said I would get into. Normally with healing with lupus, it takes a long time for me to heal. I don't heal very well, very fast. And with my microblading, it was just like that, and so simple. I mean, there were a few little pieces, I mean, like almost microscopic pieces that came off, but it really was nothing. I mean, I don't know if they just came off when I slept. That's another thing. You have to make sure to sleep on your side, which is really hard because you don't know what you're doing in the middle of the night. But I'm not a face sleeper anyway. I really do sleep on my side and then roll to my back and then go to my other side. So I had a feeling I would be okay with sleeping, just for the sheer fact that I would wear eyebrow makeup to bed so that I could wake up with eyebrows on. Like, that's how obsessed I was with eyebrows. I only cleaned my eyebrows with micellar water. I'm getting off track a little bit, but I cleaned them with my micellar water and a cotton pad, and I just like dabbed at them. And then in the shower, I just kind of I washed my face out of the shower. So I only let the water kind of spray at my eyebrows. I didn't ever full on like get under the water. But yeah, a lot of people will freak out because your eyebrows will get really, really dark, and then once they flake off, they get really, really light. And then it looks like, sometimes it looks like you barely even had a procedure done. So it scares people for a few days, but then all of a sudden, the pigment comes back. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's not how it worked for me. For me, it just worked where they were a little bit darker and then they lightened up and then they kind of stayed that same way. They still pretty much look now how they did then. I don't know. Very weird. You know, everybody heals differently. So it's just up to your body and how you take care of your eyebrows, how they're going to be. Everybody's different. This is just my experience that I'm sharing with you. I went back 4 weeks later, and I'll show you a picture of what it looked like the second time after I got the retouch. And you can see the individual strokes definitely in this picture. So I was interested to see how it would heal because it definitely was filled in a lot more. I don't know if overall I do have better results because I should be going back in 2 months to get my retouch, my yearly retouch. Some people have to go back in 6 months. Some people have to go back, it's normally a year. But she told me that I wouldn't need to come back until December of this year. And based on how they look, I really think that that's true. They haven't changed much, and I don't know what would happen that would make it so it would fade that much so that I would have to go back before December. I feel perfectly fine going out without filling in my brows now, without putting anything on them. I mean, I'm actually going to be going to the grocery today. We need food so desperately. We keep eating out because there's nothing in the house. But I'm going to be going to the store, and I'm not going to fill in my brows just to go to the store. That's pointless to me. Why did I spend, over $400 if I'm going to still be buying brow pencils? And if I do a makeup look, of course, yes, I will fill in my brows. And it definitely does not take the time that it used to take. It used to take me like 7 to 10 minutes just to do my brows. And now it's just, real quick, like, and I'm done. When I went for the touch-up, she addressed my concerns. I had a couple of concerns, one of them being that this tail didn't seem as long as this one. And she measured them out, and they were. It's just no face is symmetrical. So it didn't look like it was as long. And she had no problem, just putting another little hair there just to make me feel better about it. And I'm really glad that she did that. So, and your touch-up is really when you refine the brow and, get it how you want. The healing process is the exact same. And I received from her this healing balm, and it just comes in this little stick, and it basically, well, it's really like goopy and weird. You can kind of see it. I mean, it's basically just like a really, really soft lip balm, but it has castor seed oil, some more castor oil, beeswax, a different kind of beeswax, grapeseed oil, avocado oil, soybean oil, just tons of great things to help heal your brows. And this, I would feel my brows every few hours and see if it needed it, but this is amazing. I've used it on my lips since I've gotten it done, and it's just a great, great product. So the only thing that I did not touch on is acids. Lactic acid, BHAs, AHAs, glycolic acid, all of those treatments for your face that make you look so beautiful and younger, you can't have them around your eyebrows because it pulls out the pigment. So I have stayed away from anything that has those acids in them. I glanced down at my notes, and I think I have been talking for a while, so I will try and edit this down, but since it's me talking about everything, I don't know how short I can make this, so I do apologize if it is a bit longer, but I want the correct information out there. I have seen some videos where the information, I'm just like, no, like, you can't be telling people this, and I hate it because these people are reaching thousands or tens of thousands of viewers, whereas, you know, I'm going to reach like 30 and 30 people, not 30,000. I just want the right information to be out there, which is why I made this video. I wish I had had this video when I was going into the process, because I think I did everything right, except for I didn't research my salon. But I trusted my hairstylist as a referrer too. You know, she wasn't referring her just because it was her salon. She had had her eyebrows microbladed. So she had been through the experience. She knew what it was like. So she told me all about it too. She went to the same person. So I trusted it. I mean, it was only one testimonial, but it was enough for me. And the fact that it was right in town, it was the price that I was looking for. Anyway, I hope that this was informative. Well, I know it was informative. Just kidding. I hope this was helpful for you. If you are looking to get microblading done, just go ahead and leave a comment and I will meet you down there. I will answer whatever I possibly can, having been through the experience. You know, anything that you can't get on the internet, I will answer. And other than that, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share this, especially with people who are considering microblading. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye guys. Peace out.